Hello, we're live. I'm here ready. Got my coffee, got my jewelry on. I was going to see what you thought about this. This was a Goodwill piece years ago. Is that cool or what? It's a metal bar. It's got a chain underneath of it. There's hooks on the top, hooks on the bottom. Isn't that pretty? That is a cool design. And then here's my other. Let me pull myself up so I can see any comments. Then I have this other piece that's just multi-chain. Isn't that pretty? Now, if I hadn't liked that, it was a Goodwill piece. It's got a really cool clasp on the back. I could have taken that apart and used all that chain. Um, and who knows what I got these for back in the day. These were, you could buy these easy. And then of course these cool earrings I like. Let's fix this one. They go with everything. Where I got them, there was a gold pair too. I was tempted to get the gold pair, but I haven't yet. That way if I wear gold, I can do both. It looks great with black. My rings I got on today are this is a stone that I had set from Zane's great aunt's wedding ring. And then this is a ring that was Zane's when he was a teenager, a boy at home. And when we went through his stuff, we found it. And he's like, I remember that. So that was kind of special to me. And then I have, of course, my silver stack on today. This here was a Gwen piece. It's missing some pieces. I could add those, but, I just let it natural. And then my Byzantine. And I did want to notice, see, you get these clasps if you make jewelry and you sell it. I wear this one a lot, so it has taken the finish off of that. So I'm going to have to replace that. But that's something to consider because this is made out of aluminum. It's very light and it's very rugged. It'll last a long time. That's one of my favorite stitches, the Byzantine. And that's my stack. And of course, my beautiful black diamond wedding ring. I love that ring. So that's my show and tell for today. And today we're going to make a lariat. Never made a lariat before. Never did. Let me see. My computer's got me on there. I recently, yep, there I am. Recently I had a box. It's interesting. If you keep a box of beads, you go through your beads, you put a box away, and that box is like, yeah, I don't really want any of those. And then time goes by and you go through that box again, and then you find, oh, I do want that. You've learned a little bit more, and you're like, oh, I can use that. So I just went through one of those boxes. It was my mother-in-law's goodie box that that she collected. She didn't really do jewelry, but she had this one box that I collected, and I found some cool things in there. Maybe I'll show you some of them today if we have time. Let me write welcome, and let's do a lariat, and I'll show you some. I did lay a few pieces on here for you to see. Hold on tight. We'll get you on here. Get you switched around. This was a cool find. It was a Nefertiti. Look, she's a pink Nefertiti with a blue. She was on a necklace. Looks like she bought it maybe at a garage sale or something. And that would make a neat focal. But it's too cartoony for me. I would probably patina it with a little brown or something and maybe even put some color on there, do it a little different. That's just kind of a cool piece. And then I found a whole bunch of these, all different sizes, wooden nickels. And these I could easily paint, decoupage something on them, drill a hole in them, and make a focal out of those. A whole tin of them. This one's Monocacy Federal Credit Union in Frederick. That's where Fort Detrick, that's where Zane's is from. He was from Frederick County, and I was the county next to it. And that's how we met. So today I wanted to show a couple things. One is I'm going to cut off about 4 inches here And I saw this and I thought this would be a fun finding tip. You take we're going to make a head pin. I'd never seen this before. And you take the end and you just roll it twice. You get it on there twice. Get back to where we started. And I'm just twisting that with my hand. I'm going to bend that. So we got a coil at the end, a double coil. It's about 4 inches. I like 3 inches. You would make it as long as you needed. And then I'm going to bend this. Well, actually, we're going to turn this up like that. And then we bent this down. We're going to pull that through. We're going to take our rubber pliers and pull that through. Now I got a little loop there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull. I'm going to pull that through. Let's see if I can pull it through with my fingers as best I can. Now it looks like I'm going to have to get a little help. I don't want to mar the metal, so how about if I put that there, get a little support from my other side. Usually I use these, that's why I'm fumbling on them, and just pull until we get that to go right down in there. And it's not wanting to pull down in there, so I'm going to give it a little help. I'm going to squeeze it a little bit so I can go through that hole. Now, granted, this is the first time I tried this, so this is 20 gauge wire. Got a little kink in it, so I'm straightening it out. That's the nice thing about these rubber pliers. They can flatten out a really nice curve. And if I could just get a good grip on it. There we go. And look at that. We got us a little spiral head pin. Now, I made that pretty wide, so let's put a bead on it. Let's just see what it looks like with a bead. So I could have made the spiral a little smaller. Now that's a little big, probably for what my liking is. But if that had a big bead on it, that would look nice. Or something that was hidden that you didn't see, depending on, if it was a cone or whatever. But that's a good way if you need a head pin. You want a little style at the bottom, And I can take and smash it a little bit. But I thought that was pretty clever. So I wanted to show you that finding. That was cool. And now today, what we're going to do is we are going to take about 6 inches. It's way more than I need. 20 gauge wire, just plain old silver. This is silver plated, non-tarnished wire from Pear Wire. And if you like your wire straightened like I just did, you can take your one plier and pull the other and straighten that out. We're kind of going to go in a circular with this anyway, so I don't mind the bend in it, but I'm just going to pull the kinks out of it. There we go. That's the great use of that. There's a couple other tools that do the same thing. That's the one that I use. So I have 9 rondelles, and I need 3 of. I was going to do 3, 3, and 3. So let's see if that's what I end up doing. I love this color palette of this bead set right here. Pull these apart. So I like these blue ones, bluish purple, and these 3. So I'm going to do 3, 3, and 3. What do you think of that? Go from the darkest, maybe the blue. Nope, we'll put the bluish ones in the middle, or do we put those at the end? I like it that way. So we'll set these out of the way. And then here's the end of my lariat. Now I could do these all the same color if I wanted, but I just thought it might be neat to do them multicolor. And it's, you know, I always say there really is no right or wrong. It's what you like. So you'll see me when I pick it. It's something that I like. So I'm gonna, oops, didn't mean to turn you. Let me get a little closer. I'd like you to be able to see, but at the same time, I don't want to go off camera there. So what we're going to do is we are going to put, oopsie, a bead and then a rondelle. A bead. Now this is going to make the circle and a rondelle. A bead. I think there's 9 and 9 if I remember right. And a rondelle. Isn't that pretty? It's going to make our circle to put the focal through. And a rondelle. That's a pretty colorway, isn't it? There's a tint of, in these, a tint of this color. It goes very well together. So I got browns, some goldish. Now we're going to put the last color on. And I do need to stop and put on now I was going to put this through here like this. So let me give this a little bit of help because this is not a open jump ring. And you can take a ring that's not open and you can make it open. You can just slice it, which I just did. Well, you know, that metal is showing you that it's too brittle to do. So let's find one that does work for us. We don't want something brittle like that. I wonder what this would look like. Well, this one is also closed, so I'd take the same risk. That's a little big. I did like the twisted, but I don't think I have a twisted in that color or size. So this I like this meaty piece one here. This will go do well. Let's see if we can get that in there. And through the wire. That's kind of the key. And I wonder if I want it up here versus down there. I think I'm going to put it at the bottom here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, let's figure this out first. Let's put these on. And I guess I risked the issue of them coming off. But I should have thought this through first. And that's okay. Sometimes that's how it goes. So we do need one last one. I'm going to bend it just a little bit. And it will be next to that one. The question is will it go through both? And I don't think it's going to. So I think what I am going to do is, if I put that on there like that, I don't have to go through the rondelle. I kind of wanted to, but I don't have to. That's not really what I want. Let's do it this way. Let's see if this one here does open, which gives us an advantage. I believe it opens, yes. So let's do this. Let's see if we like it. Because this is what's going to hold our chain. So this is what it would look like that. And I'm good with that. So we put our last rondelle on. And I can already see that that will be our circle. And I think that I want to put this over on this side. My question is, should I put them between the threes? Well, I guess they're going to be between the threes no matter what, right? Yeah, they're going to be between the threes no matter what. The thing is what I wonder is, would I rather have that? I think I would rather have, do I want this big one or the small one? Let's keep the small one. The thing we risk is if I change my mind, I'm going to have to cut it off, which is, that's okay too. So that will go there. And then we will take our beads and make us a nice round. Let's see if I have something round I can go around to help my wire stay nice and round. Let's see if this bottle will help me. I just took a paint bottle and I want the bottom to round up instead of, becoming oval. So I'm just giving it a little bit of help. And there is our lariat hole. So now we've already determined that we know that this wire will not go through the bead caps twice. And now we know it will not go through. What would be ideal is if it would go through, you could pull them out and around out through here. That would be the ideal way. So that's not going to work for us. So what we're going to do is, let me think a minute. I think that I'm just going to twist it like a twisty tie. What do you think? Let's just see if we can twist it like a twisty tie and still get it to go underneath and hide in there. And we're not going to get that to happen. So if we were doing this again, we could use a smaller size. We could use bigger hold beads and bigger hold rondelles. Or I could end them like I just showed you. But we do want a continual loop. That's important. Take that off. And yeah, I'm going to think this through. We're going to make this work. That would have been the ideal way. So what can we come up with, solution design wise, to make these end connected? Because we want it to be as snug as a bug in a rug. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this wire here. I'm going to make me a very tiny hoop. Whoops, we risked that falling off, and it did, and that's okay. Very tiny loop right there. like very tiny. See how tiny that is? Because I want to be able to hide that loop in that rondelle. Then we're going to make another tiny one on the other side. Let me make sure all my wire is snug and bug is rug around. Make sure my loop is nice and round the way I want it round. Aren't the colors pretty? I just love the colors. And we can get the ring mandrel out and, make that better. So I think I got it nice and snug so there's not very much. And I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to cut a little extra only because I'm always wanting to be a little careful. That's a little bit too much. And really all I need here is a hook. Let's see if we can connect those two. Okay. Now that leaves a bit of a space there, which is okay. And I'm going to close that up. I really wanted it to close. So what I might do is go back and just get, I always am afraid to do really close or really small wire because wire is bendable. And when you wear jewelry that you wear all the time, it wears. So I'm just shoring this up in here, closing those together. So we could either put that at the bottom. I think we should put it at the top. We're going to put that at the top and hide it a little bit with the jump rings. And I'm going to use the fatter one, I believe. Let's see. I like the fatter one right there. Did you have a good holiday? We put that big one there. We are not agreeing with this big size here. So that's all there is in design. You pick what you like and stick with what you like. So I think what I'm going to do is I am going to take that off. And I am going to put 2 of these smaller ones. We already tried to cut this size here that doesn't have a loop in it, but we see that the metal is not really what we want because it was brittle and it broke. So we're not going to risk that. So what I'm going to do is put this one and another one, a double. Let's put a double. Do I have any more little ones like that? I found that one in this one over here. That's why there's none there. And can you believe it? Oh, nope, there's one hiding. One hiding. That's always makes happy. So we're going to put 2 to kind of distract from where that's connected. And some people that's not going to bother. Me, I just want a little, close up that jump ring really nice. Make sure it's closed. So now we have 2 jump rings right there. And we're going to take this fat one and run them through there. I like that. There you go. You see that? Very nice. I put 2, and then this one. Now, if I had had 2 smaller of these nice big gauged, I would have liked those too. So there's our completed loop. Now what we do is we're going to take this chain. Let's see, which chain do we like better? This one or this one? I think I like the red. I like both of them. Let's stick with the darker one. Yeah, let's do the darker one. And what we do here is we take our focal. Let's see if this jump ring will work on this focal that's already in here. Wouldn't that be nice? And it does. And now a lariat. Make sure that's nice and together. And it's not coming together. So what we do is we just keep working it back and forth till it clicks and it gets into a nice connection. And I'm not really liking how that's turning out there. So that jump ring is a little wonky. So I'm going to take it off, see if I can salvage it on my, let's find a different one. Let's find a different one. I really wish these here would cut. Let me cut this one and see if it'll let me do it without breaking. Now what I'm going to do to see if it's good is I'm going to bend it back and forth and see what it does. Yeah, see, it's just cheap metal. That's not going to work. So let's pull one out like the ones we've been using that do bend. They were created to bend. And they're connected so well, it's hard to see where the bend is. There we go. And let's connect this. So this one matches the one at the top. And all we do now is a lariat is worn like this. It drops through. See, drops right through and you wear it like that. So what we're going to do now is see how long we want this to be. I'm going to throw that one away that I didn't like. It was out of form. I like them to form. And so this is up, this chain here is really long, so I don't really need a long one. So I'm going to put this on and see how long I want this one. And I want it to drop through here like this. And put that like that. So I'm going to take it apart right here. And I don't know if these are open or not, or if I just have to cut them. They're open, so I can just take that open, pull that off, close that back up. And I believe I'm going to take that one piece on the end off and use the oval one. I'm going to use the oval one. There's a little round one in between, and I don't really want that one there. And that gets attached to the actual piece right there. We close that up. Make sure that's nice and snug so that it doesn't fall off or come apart. This is where an oval jump ring does really well, because an oval jump ring, the slice is usually on the side. Now that's a pretty thick ring I have on there, so there it is. There we got, show you. There we got our lariat. And the chain comes around. I did think to use fatter chain, but I think both designs are very cool. And then here's the end of it. So how that works is you put this around your neck, you drop that through. You can wear it really tight to your neck, or you can wear it long. So here, let's try it on. Let's try it on. Take off my beautiful necklaces I got on today. Today is, well, tomorrow is my good friend's birthday, Eileen, in Ohio. I put these away because, you know, all I need to do is, excuse my arm, all I need to do is knock one of those over, and I would be crying. So let's take this necklace off. I can show you that the clasp on this multiple chain one that I showed you earlier is so cool. The clasp on this, look, how cool is that? It's a swivel. You can, it's got some of my hair in there. It's a swivel, and on both sides it's the same thing, and you can press it in and just attach it. That is a cool chain. And look at the chains. Fat, ball chain, linked. These are here, and then at the bottom, they're all different lengths. If I ever get tired of it, I'll just take these apart, make lariats out of them. Okay, so let's put this on. This goes around my neck, and the weight of that, turn you around. Hey, I must have hit the button. I wanted to show you what we made. So that's real short, or, you know, making it long, and then you could make it really short and not make this as, you know what I mean? You could not make the chain as long if you wanted. This is our lariat we made today out of beads, rondelles, pretty rondelles. We did it kind of in a brass color. And this is just a beautiful sparkly bottom. This is how I'll wear it. This is I made it and how that I would wear it, long like this. And I could even go up a little bit, probably. From design standpoint, I see that this jump ring is very big. So for my preference, I would put a smaller jump ring there, because I want this to be the center of what you notice. I don't want that, and that jump ring kind of stands out to me a little bit more than I would like. So there's our lariat. You know, I got some cool, like, ceramic beads. I think of all the kinds of ends that you could put on something. You know, it's got to be able to go through the hole to make the lariat. The other thing I think of is making lariats with a bunch of beads, like a 4-strander, connect them to a big loop, and then bring them around and let them go through that loop. Put some pretty big beads on the bottom, just as long as they can go through the hole. And make that, like, just really, like, this is very dainty. But that jump ring for me has got to go. So I'll show it to you up closer, and I'll let you into your day. There's, I used 9 and 9 beads. I used 20. If you had wide, I think the key here would have been using wide hold, big hold rondelles and beads, so you could have wrapped the wire back through. But what I did was I just put my chains at the top there. I think that would have let it move free, a little freer. But it moves very nicely. But I do want to get rid of those, that big. Here, let's just give it a go and see. I'm just going to take it off and stick it on to what's right there and see how the difference. So, my Etsy store has been hopping here today, this weekend. I'm like, maybe everyone is buying, using their Christmas money to buy things. I don't know. But that's exciting for me. Yesterday I got to go. There was a group of women who walk and talk, and I went with them on a hike yesterday. Took my little dog. That was fun. I got two. I know you can't see what I'm doing, but all I'm doing is taking the 2 jump rings that I already had on there and connecting my chain to that. Because I had 2, I had to do 2 of them. Which reinforces it's not going to go anywhere, right? And we'll close that up. And what we're doing is we're trying to make the connection be secondary in what you see. Because that jump ring, so see, I took that out and just stuck them right on the chain. So let's see what that looks like. And you drop the bead right through, and there's your lariat. Like that. Pretty crystal at the bottom. I think it's a little long for me. Don't you think it would look a little nicer if it was like right there? I do too. I'm going to make it a little shorter. The other thing you could do is just drop a whole bunch of charms on the bottom. Wouldn't that be cute? Put this at the bottom, but then add a few, beads or whatever on the bottom. I think that would be cute. So I'm just going to go up a little further. Put my bead on up higher. I think I am going to think about what to add. I actually could put some of those beads that I put on in the lariat. Drop some of those. I think that would be pretty. That would make it a little heavy because this chain is very light. And because it's light, I'm just going to cut that. Because it's very, oops, I did the wrong side. Look at that. That's funny. That's funny. Let's put this, I put the focal on the wrong side of it. It would, because it's light, it would be nice for this to be a little heavier. Just a little. If the chain was heavier, it would pull it down. So I'm thinking that. So, okay, there we go. I like that. That suits me. And I have this little thing of 6/0 beads. That would look really cute on the bottom of these too. They match really well, the coloring. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to add that there. Isn't that cute? To make this chain have a little weight to it. It needs a little weight. Thanks for sharing today with me. I hope you have a blessed year. And we'll see you next Friday to make something. Hey, and thanks for helping keep me accountable to make jewelry. Because I got my tent. I think I told you I got my tent. I found me a wonderful tent. A 10 by 10 white tent with sides. Like, this was a $600 tent. I paid $100 and something for it. I can't remember now what it was. And it's going to be nice to take to market. So, the more I make here, the more I'll have to have product at market. So we'll give that a go and see how that goes this spring. So we'll talk to you next Friday. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye now.